One thing I have learned from watching kung fu movies and anime is to never underestimate the old man. Anime especially taught me that lesson because old men in anime are just built different. They could be far out of their primes, but stepping up to them could still be the worst decision a character ever makes. So today on View with Eyes, we will be focusing on some of the greatest old men in anime. Please like and subscribe for more and let this channel grow. We are almost at the halfway mark. Silver Fang Bang will be the opener today. Living in a world where people have mind-blowing abilities and mechanically enhanced bodies, Bang still stands out in the ranks of heroes, with martial arts being the foundation of his power. With martial arts, he managed to rank high amongst the S-class heroes with no fancy extra fluff to make him more powerful, and he's also a well-respected martial arts teacher. He is the master of Garu, so you know this guy is good. Kaseki is a little different than most of the old men in this video because he is not a fighter, but in the anime realm of Dr. Stone, he is easily one of the most important members of the Kingdom of Science. While Senku's intellect may be the driving force of the show, the majority of the things created to elevate the Kingdom of Science is only possible due to the craftsmanship of Kaseki. Without this old man, the rate of the progress that Senku made wouldn't have been possible. As I said in a previous video, my relationship with Fairy Tail ended a long time ago, but I can still give a little bit of respect to some of these characters. And that is why we have the Fairy Tail Guild Master, Master Makarov. At first glance, he may not come across as a very imposing individual, but you of course know he isn't some pushover because he is the Guild Master of Fairy Tail, and that title doesn't come lightly. My memory of Fairy Tail is not a healthy one, but it was gonna bother me if I didn't at least acknowledge this character. One of my favorite Rayleigh moments was when he basically swam from Sabaody to Amazon Lily, which is a massive distance to cover because Amazon Lily is located in the Calm Belt, and the Calm Belt houses Sea Kings. So for a man who is essentially in his late 70s to be able to swim in those troubled waters like it was just another day at the beach is an otherworldly type of flex, no matter how you try to look at it. Rayleigh was the first character we witnessed being able to hold an admiral at bay. He's also responsible for Luffy's immense growth of power that led the Straw Hat Captain to the level that he is currently at. Blackbeard, in my opinion, is a final boss in One Piece. He is the only one to have two outrageously powerful Delve Food abilities at his disposal, but even Blackbeard, with its almost unlimited power, was fearful when Rayleigh made his presence felt on Amazon Lily. Silver's Rayleigh out of his prime is still better than a big percentage of characters in their prime. Just think about that.
私は常に真剣なんだよ。普通の使い手ならば思うじゃろうが。
In my previous video, I highlighted Killua Zoldyck, and in this one, it is only fitting that I shine some light on his grandfather, the one and only Zeno Zoldyck. He doesn't have many feats to give him the ultimate hype-up treatment, but the fact that Neto respects him should tell you a lot about this man. He had one great confrontation with the leader of the Phantom Troop accompanied with his son, and this fight really showcased how vicious he could be. because for the most part he comes across as a calm and collected person, but when he is in fight mode, a different beast is released. Hunter x Hunter will always remain a big mystery to me because there is so much more I wanted to experience with this wonderful story, and another showcase of Zeno would have been nice.
Impact!
I normally try to avoid putting more than one character from one anime in a video like this, but this cannot be helped since One Piece is basically rich with Lord level old men. When he was younger, he was considered the rival of Gold Roger, who we all have assumed to be the most powerful character. For the vast majority of One Piece, we have only seen glimpses of what this man is capable of, and last year, we finally got to see this man in true action, and it was nothing short of amazing. He was able to best Aokiji in a one-on-one affair, and Aokiji has easily one of the best powers that you can find in the entire story, and this man proceeded to put his former student in a blender and cause the amount of havoc an entire army would cause all by himself. Oda, please, I beg you, please bless us with a small prequel of One Piece because I would love to see this man on top of his game. In the Hunter x Hunter universe, Neto was considered to be the strongest nen user. I don't know how factual that statement is, but his final fight was one of the most thrilling battles I've ever experienced in anime. He was the only character who was able to keep the very overpowered Chimera Ant King at bay, and the fact that he was an old man made this so much more magnificent. I kind of wish the fight didn't end the way it did, but with how disciplined Neto was, if Miriam didn't have ill intentions for the world, he would have most likely ended the battle in a different way. But all in all, Neto was an absolute badass. The thing that makes King Bradley so cold to me is the fact that compared to the other homunculi, he seems relatively plain and just human. The others displayed extraordinary powers and abilities, but I was more impressed by Bradley when he single-handedly cut down an entire army by himself, even destroying a tank with only his sword in his hand. Even the skilled fighters were not enough for him. There had to be several attempts made by high-grade fighters to finally take down this guy. In his final fight with Scar, he loses both of his arms in a clash and proceeded to use his blade with his teeth to continue his assault. King Bradley was an absolute beast. Naruto had a few teachers who were very important to his progress as a ninja, but the one who had the most impact was surely this man. There can be a debate between Kakashi, but Jiraiya solely gave him the most when it comes to his overall progress from the Rasengan, summoning jutsu to Sage Mode. I understand that the pervy Sage didn't directly teach him Sage Mode, but without him being present in Naruto's life, it would have most likely never gotten to that point. Jiraiya was Minato's teacher, he was also the teacher of Nagata, which would later be known as Pain, and he was part of the legendary Sannin. This man has a stacked resume. When the entire anime community mourns a character's death, you should know just how great that character was. The next one could be considered the fiercest old man in anime because he just had a different kind of presence. Not saying that the other characters in this video doesn't exude high levels of aura, but Yamamoto was just a little different. Being the head captain of the 13th Court God Squad should automatically tell you that this man was a problem. He was such a problem that Aizen of all people was careful as how to approach this old man. And rightfully so, because when he finally displayed what he was truly capable of, it instantly became understandable why a powerful individual such as Aizen was somewhat cautious of this man. His death was somewhat underwhelming and it kind of killed off a little bit of his hype, but for me, he still comes across as one of the baddest characters in the entire series. From all of these wonderful characters included in this video, I feel that Whitebeard is my favorite. Going into Marineford, Edward Newgate was a sick man. His health was rapidly getting worse, but for a man nearing death, the display of absolute dominance he brought forth almost felt like it was telling a different story. During the War of the Bears, he had multiple encounters with powerful individuals, even having fights with all three admirals. He was also stabbed by one of his comrades, something that would kill the average fighter or at least put him on the sidelines, but no such thing happened. He was then in an absolute barn burner of a fight with Akainu in which he sustained vital wounds. You would think that this would be the end of Whitebeard, but he wasn't ready to die yet. He then took on an army of Marines alone and had his final encounter with the Blackbeard pirates, where he almost killed Teats, but after a collective effort by the Blackbeard pirates, Whitebeard finally died. But just to prove what an absolute monster this man was, he died like a boss, standing on his 2 feet. I felt that I had to leave the OG for the final spot. I'm not saying that he's stronger or better than anyone else in this video, but Master Roshi is the first old man in anime that really blew my mind with his power. He is arguably the most iconic character in this video, so that is why I wanted to close the video off with him. Not only is Master Roshi someone not to underestimate, he's also responsible for the wonderful and powerful Goku that we all know and love today. Roshi is the first character I witnessed to blow up the moon in an anime. By the standards of what Dragon Ball is today, it may not seem impressive, but for me watching Dragon Ball as a kid, it was absolutely amazing. And while I've experienced so many other epic moments over the years, Roshi blowing up the moon is still one of the most memorable moments out of the entire franchise for me personally. But that is gonna be the end of this video. Please like and subscribe for more, and tell me who else do you think should have been included.